So you want to improve your score with the audit process. Let me tell you 7 ways, actually 7, that you can do this. You can have to know the difference between an audit and an inspection in order to prepare yourself effectively. Preparation is everything. Your paperwork should be well organized, well documented, and in place. Employees should be prepared and know the audit questions and should understand their role in the health and safety program. The site that I'm going to observe as an auditor must meet legislative standards, and you always want to exceed them. Point number 5, once the audit is done and you get the report, you should identify strengths and opportunities for improvement, build on them, create an actionable action plan with quick wins and long-term goals to reach for. And lastly, you want to start early to prepare for the next audit. So let me talk about each of these points. The difference between an audit and an inspection is critical in completing an audit effectively. An audit measures the health and safety management program of a company. An inspection simply monitors for unsafe acts and conditions while a job is taking place. An audit looks at documentation, so you want to ensure that the documentation is well organized, and it helps, as I mentioned in an earlier section on audits, it helps to have a binder with the paperwork neatly organized section by section for the audit or by job file. If you're a construction company, organize it by the type of job or contract that you're on. But it needs to be well organized, in place, and to be found easily by the auditor. It is up to you to provide the documentation. It is not up to the auditor to find that. That's essential to know. Employees should also be aware of the audit questions. So I'm going to be interviewing, as an auditor, a representative sample of employees. So I'm going to look at all experience levels, whether full-time, part-time, casual, all shifts. So make sure that your employees know what's expected of them, know their role within the health and safety program, and can answer my questions well. Your site must meet the bare minimum standards, which are the legislation. Sometimes it helps to have a fire inspector to come out and look it over, or another set of eyes, either from a contractor or another health and safety person, visit your site and check and make sure everything's in order, particularly if they're an expert in what you're doing. Make sure that an experienced worker, supervisor, or health and safety person looks over your site. You want to identify strengths and opportunities for improvement. Opportunities for improvement or deficiencies are those areas that you need strengthening. Those areas that a fix will plug holes to prevent losses from occurring. Strengths you build on. If you're strong in communication, make sure that you become stronger. Make sure that you use your communication strength to plug holes or deficiencies in other areas, for example. Say you have a weak health and safety committee, make sure that with strong worker management communication, you improve worker management representation on the health and safety committee, and concurrently the effectiveness of the communication processes. You want to, as a result of an audit, create an action plan with quick wins, low-hanging fruit that you can reach for and you can strive to attain, get them in quickly done. Get your wins, get your achievements, get your gains done as quickly as possible. And mid to long-term goals that require more resources, more time, but will result in a better health and safety audit process. And lastly, you want to start early, probably immediately after you've got the audit report, implemented the action plan to prepare and plan for your next audit. You do these things, you'll ace the audit report.